welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second round of the three Sim Racing Nations event here at Misano this time, where all drivers are in the Ferrari 488 Evo, one of the more all-rounded cars here on ACC. And we've just got 10 minutes, well, 11 minutes left of this qualifying session to go. Mercedes-Benz currently on provisional pole with a 134.905. The track is now optimum. It was fast in the practice session the drivers had previously, prior to this qualifying session. So they had about 15 minutes just to get warmed up in the practice session, and now they've got a 15-minute qualifying session, just 10 minutes left. And it's currently Mercedes-Benz on provisional pole, but in the practice session we had Melvin, one of the SimZone drivers, sitting a 34.5, I believe it was, on a fast track, so you may even see some 33s here towards the end of the qualifying session. Not very far in, and we've already got some really quick lap times in the top 4 within 5/10, well, top 5 now within about 5/10 of each other. And last time out at Barcelona, it was a very, very tough race. We had Mercedes-Benz finishing P1 at Barcelona. So Mercedes-Benz is racing for RFF, so that's the Races for Fun community, and he started on pole, got the fastest lap as well, and won the race, so extra points there for RFF. Darren, Raceline Darren, currently I don't think has put in a time, if we can find him on track. Where is Darren? I think he may have had a disconnection here. I can't seem to find Darren, but he finished P2 out at Barcelona last round, so he's for Raceline. And then we had Melvin finish P3 for the SimZone. So 3 drivers from 3 different communities, all on the podium, which is good to see. But that put Raceline in the lead after the first round, so 212 points for Raceline. SimZone in second on 192, and then RFF on 158 in P3. Raceline and RFF picking up a few penalties in the first round. SimZone with no penalties accumulated after Barcelona. Misano, a much more technical track, I think, and not as easy to overtake on, although you do have some long straights here. It's still going to be quite hard to pass. So Bruce Harper goes into P2, although Matinero there puts it on provisional pole, 134.465, and he gets a bit of oversteer coming into turn 2 there. That's going to drop him down a few tenths on his delta. Tyres aren't going to like that either. The track is very hot as well, 31 degrees. And Melvin now puts it on provisional pole, 134.4. And look how close it is between the top 2. Just 200 separating them. And then Mercedes-Benz and P3 down by 2 tenths there. It's extremely close, with pretty much the top 10 all separated, all within a second of each other. The grid is even closer than it was at Barcelona. Still, well, I think one driver set a time, Lord Prof, still yet to set a time here. It's very easy to invalidate your laps, especially if you're pushing the car to the absolute limit. So I'm not surprised that we've got a few times coming in late here. See there, flash of lights from one of the SimZone drivers. I think RFF, one of the RFF drivers, just moving out of the way there. Obviously not on a lap. Mercedes-Benz does improve as he crosses the line by a tenth, but it wasn't enough to gain him a position there, so he stays in P3. We've got the number 23 car. Who is the number 23 car? That is Matinero, who crosses the line. I don't think he improved there, so stays P2 that time around. Ruby from there for race line. He's got another Ferrari, another race line car behind him. Improves up into P12. Vitosaurus here is still in the second sector. He's about to enter the third sector on this long back straight here, but it looks like he's gone wide there. Now it will be interesting to see if some of the teams will be giving each other a slipstream down some of these straights. You can definitely gain a few tenths by doing so. So you've got this long back straight. You've got three main straights really. The start-finish straight, the straight just after sector 2, the sector 2 line, and then you've got the back straight there, which is which do have a few corners in, but they're pretty much flat out. So yeah, there's definitely time to gain if the teams do start to work together. We've got, I thought that was matching lap times between P6 and P7, but Morcilia about to cross the line, will he improve? Currently P6, no he doesn't. Oh no, I think he did actually. He was P7. The Priya looks like he's going to return the car to the pits. BSTNNA in P9 currently. And I think that may have been wide for BSTNNA. Yes, it was. He's validated that lap. Master Benz now with a 34.2. Back into provisional pole. Martinera into P2 there. And Melvin down into P3. He's just coming out the pits here. Not long left in this qualifying session to improve. Let's look further down then. So Lord Proth has set a time up into P23. Mizuari in P24, Kenny in P25 currently, Pepperacole in P26, and P27 is Squid. I do believe we're still missing Darren from Raceline, so that's going to drop them quite a few points, I think. Because Darren is definitely capable of being right at the front. Now, just watching Bruce Harper, we did see Bruce Harper, who had a bit of a mishap last time out at Barcelona. He was running in the top 4, battling for P2, I think it was, but unfortunately pitted early before the pit window. Then got a drive-through penalty for track limits later on in the race, and then while serving that drive-through penalty, picked up a stop go 30, so ended up pitting 3 more times than he actually needed to, which pretty much dropped him towards the back of the grid. And yeah, valuable points lost there for RFF. But we've definitely got a few new drivers here for some of the other communities. You can switch drivers, it doesn't need to be the same lineup every round. So GS20 in the number 25 Ferrari is a new one for Raceline, I believe. Each community running their own colours and their own liveries. So it looks like we've got the number 7 car. That's Pepperacole about to cross the line for Raceline. Is he going to improve? And he does. Puts it to P16. That was a massive jump there from P26 all the way to P16. So 10 positions gained just by gaining a few tenths there. And it just shows you how close the grid is currently. Where is Melvin coming into the 3rd sector very shortly? We've got a yellow flag out on track somewhere. That's someone in the pits. That is a bit of a bug on the console version of ACC. Sometimes it doesn't register when you return to garage. Now we've got the number 21 car as well. I believe that is Vitosaurus. No, it's not Vitosaurus. Ruby Farm is crossing the line. Vitosaurus is entering the third sector shortly. Melvin about to come back across the line, enters the final corner using all of that inside curve there. And the outside curve, of course. You can see the rubber all over the track there. That's where the grip will be. But Melvin doesn't improve. He has this one last chance to improve his lap time. Master Benz is in the pit, so that's his qualifying session done. All Melvin needs here is 2/10. Soulfly P4 currently, 4/10 off. Bruce Harper in P5. Darren, oh no, Darren is with us, so I think we are missing someone else. Darren in P6, surprisingly. Usually, judging off his pace in the practice lobbies and from last time at Barcelona, he would be in the top 2. But this might be it for him. Let's see. He's run slightly wide. That might be an invalid lap for Darren. Let's see. I think it was invalid. And Bruce Harper now goes on provisional pole. 134.160. Improves in the last second, and he's still got another lap to go. Time has now hit 0, so anyone who crosses the line has finished their qualifying session. Number 46 car of Lapria is going to be the next one. No, it's not actually. It's going to be the number 13 car. Number 13 is Soulfly. Nope, he returns the car to the pits. Lapria is coming up towards the final corner. No, he's going to put it into the pits now. The 113 car then. That's BSTNNA off. The 113 car is SVW. He's going to continue this lap. He might be up on his time. Rounds the final corner. He's slightly wide. That's going to be invalid there, I think, for SVW. Yes, it is. He's going to return the car to the pits. We've got a gaggle of cars here. One of them going off wide in front. I think Vitosaurus may be following them off. But he's going to cross the line. Any improvement from Vitosaurus? No, unfortunately not. Melvin in P4 then. So unfortunately didn't find any more time. Darren about to cross the line. He's got a few more cars in front of him. Bit of a RFF sandwich here. But will we see any of these drivers improve? Looks like Darren did improve up into P4. So there we have it. That's that qualifying session over. Bruce Harper takes pole. Masto Benz in P2 and Matanero in P3. We'll be back very shortly for the start of round 2. Right, so we're back onto the formation lap. Drivers still going around. It's quite a long formation lap here at Misano. But as we saw in qualifying, Bruce Harper pretty much at the end taking pole position. Master Benz this time in P2 and Matinero in P3. So two RFF drivers, P1 and P2 on the front row. And we pretty much had the same thing, I think, at Barcelona with the two RFF drivers on the front row. But Bruce Harper didn't get the best of starts last time and dropped back a couple positions. But let's have a quick look at some of the comments. So we've got TFJ saying, "Good evening, go TSC crew." Lord Sun saying, "Hi everyone, good luck." Paul Mitchell also saying, "Hi all, good luck, looking forward to the race." Phil Sayers, also known as Devilson, saying, "Good luck everyone." Riyadh saying, "Let's go the SimZone." Lord Perth and Kenny are now on track, saying should be a good race, good luck everyone. And Stuart is where the comments saying have a good one. So we've got a lot of support here for the drivers out on track, who are now lining up double file, getting ready for the race start as we round the final corner now. Now turns 1 and 2, not easy with this many cars on the grid. It can end in disaster, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of contact with how competitive the grid is. And someone with a drive-through penalty off the start. Who is that? It is Ido there, who has picked up a drive-through penalty. That's position on start. We've already got a bit of contact, a bit of door rubbing here into turn 1, and the top runners looks like they've gone through cleanly. Melvin side by side with, I think that is, I'm not sure who it is. It's quite hard to tell at the moment. But oh, bit of contact here. That's BSDNNA getting spun round. He's got it back on track though. And we've got another car facing the wrong way. So a bit of chaos at the start. Someone off onto the grass as well. I think that was one of the raceline drivers off into the grass. But back to the race leader, Master Benz, has already opened up a gap. Darren up into P2. Now Bruce Harper down into P3. So Bruce Harper once again with not the best start. Melvin looking for a move on Matinero. Lapria up into P6 already. Soulfly in P7. Ruby Fun in P8. Ithan, I think, has dropped down in position. I don't think he's in P9. The problem with the timings on console is it only updates every now and then, every sector pretty much, and the leaderboards do shuffle around at the start. Ithan currently saying P9, BSTNNA P10, Photosaurus P11, GS20 for Raceline right behind them, Path P13, Akart P14, Mizurari in P15, Stefan in P16. That is Ido taking his drive-through penalty. Then Stefan using a lot of curb on the inside there through the final corner. That could be a chocolate warning for Stefan. Paul Moy in P18 currently as well. I think he has a bit of damage on the front. Yes, he does. Got damage off the start, but let's hope it's not going to affect him too much. Kenny in P19 already, so he's made up a few positions. Lord Prof there, I think, letting SVW through, so just working together there, but he's being swamped here with Squid, Raceline, Pepperco, and Butch Coco. All neck and neck here as we're on to the second lap now. So that's the drive-through for Ido cleared. back to the top of the front runners. Melvin here sticking with them. Masto Benz has opened up a 1.5 second gap there to Bruce Harper and P2. Obviously they're on the same team, so they're working together. Bruce Harper may be trying to hold back the rest of them then, so Masto Benz can pull out a gap that he needs to be doing if he wants to hold on to P1. Darren currently in P3, Melvin in P4, Mantanero breathing down Melvin's neck here. Priya though in P6, not far off, only a few tenths off. In fact, he's already caught up with the Soulfly directly behind him, just waiting in the wings here for any mistakes possibly pounce on. Rubifon in P8, currently on his own, not really close enough to the pack in front, and BSTNNA behind, not close enough to him either, but I'm sure that gap will start to come down if mistakes are made. Ifan also working with BSTNNA. They're probably trying to slingshot past each other here. You can see Ifan not really trying to battle to get past. Both these drivers have a bit of damage on the front splitter there, and that's just due to the start, the mayhem we had at the start. Path once again slightly on his own, although a cart a second behind, so you can't rule him out just yet. Missouri in P13 running a much better race than last time out at Barcelona. Missouri finished, I can't remember exactly where he finished, but it was down towards the bottom of the field. He's currently running P13, which is great to see. Stefan in P14, Jerking in P15, Paul Moy in P16. He's definitely having a better race than he did at Barcelona. He had to pit very early on due to damage at the start. Now he's fighting for positions, looking for a move, and Jerking here has to slot back in, though not enough space into the final corner. But he's got Kenny behind him. Could we see a switch in position, some team orders going on? Doesn't look like we're just yet. Kenny's got to be careful because Pembrokeshire is right behind him, and he's got quite a bit of damage on the front nose of that Ferrari. Lord Perth in P21 as well, who is catching up to this pack. Bush Kirko in P22, likewise. Squid having to defend from Sergio in P24. But this section, very difficult to get past. Usually one of the most, one of the places on the track for the most accidents, as we saw evident from lap 1. Vitasaurus has dropped right down the order as well, so he's definitely had a mare of a start. You can see the damage on the right hand side of the car there. It's going to be damage limitation for Vitasaurus. He needs to gain as many positions as he can now. Back to the race leader, Masto Benz. He's got Bruce Harper right behind him. The fastest lap, chopping and changing at the moment. Melvin now with the fastest lap of the race so far. We can have a quick look at what it is. It's a 1:34.4 so far. So the pit window will open in 13 minutes. Drivers will have to serve a mandatory pit stop as well. So they'll be on about half a tank of fuel, so about 60 litres or so. And that is Darren with a mistake on the exit there. Can Melvin find the opening he needs to get this move done? He's going to need to get it done here if he wants to get past, sends it down the inside. And he looks to have got that move done, so now he can focus on catching up to Bruce Harper and Masto Benz, but Darren is not going to let this one go easily. He's going to try it around the outside. I don't think he's going to get that done. He's going to focus on getting a good exit down this long back straight. He's going to have the slipstream as well, and this is where Melvin's going to be a bit vulnerable. He's going to possibly have to defend, but I don't think Darren is going to go for a move here. In fact, Darren's lost time on the straight, so yeah, the slipstream wasn't able to give him enough of an advantage to get the move done. Melvin now 1.5 seconds back to these two. Masto Benz seems to be slowing down slightly. Bruce Harper has caught him up massively here. So that could give Melvin in P3 an opportunity to close the gap right down to the top two. As you can see, he's still got the fastest lap. So we'll keep an eye on the deltas between those two, but looking further down the order, it's not just about the front three this race. Ethan now has got past Matinera, so Ethan up into P8, Matinera down into P9. We've got a few comments coming in. Tim Roberts saying classic ACC first lap. Yes, of course. Yeah, good to see you, Jen. What was pole time? Pole time was a 1:44.1, I believe. So yeah, drivers not able to dip into the 143s just yet. Although we have seen it throughout the week, we have seen a couple of 143s, but I think it's mostly down to the temperatures being so high. Yeah, Matinero here now losing time to Ethan, so Ethan's made some places up. BST and NNA now catching up as well. So these two were bumped. Actually, no, BST NNA has lost a bit of time, so he's down into P10 now. Sorry, and he looks like he'll be having to defend from PAF. He's got quite a bit of damage on that Ferrari, so it's not going to be helping him. You can see quite slow out of the corner compared to PAF. Definitely going to be struggling to get the car turned in. We're looking even further down the order. Battle for P14 still going on. Mizuari holding on with Jecking, SVW in the mix, and Morcilia. Morcilia was much further up the order, but he's dropped back a few places. Morcilia was battling with Kenny, who's currently in P19, last time out at Barcelona, so they're quite even on pace. So we look forward to seeing some battles later on between those two. Paul Moy currently second and a half off to Morcilia, and SVW here at P16 being swamped. But he's in the thick of it all, but yeah, he seems to be holding on well, and he's going to have a nice slipstream. Although I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for a move. He's definitely going to be able to get a bit closer to the top two. Sorry, not the top two, but two in front of him. And he has, in fact, he's going to look to the outside here, maybe go for a switchback if he can get it done. He's going to go for... No, looks like he got a bit of understeer there. Or he's prioritising the exit. So now try and get this move. Looks like that is Jecking trying to break the slipstream here. SVW with a bit of a dummy. He's going to try the outside, but that's going to open up the door to Morcilia on the inside. And they both go wide there. SVW following off Jecking, and they all hold their positions. Some great racing we're having here in the mid-pack. Mizuari not able to pull away despite the fact they've been battling so hard. So maybe Jecking, SVW and Morcilia being held back here, but it doesn't matter how quick you are at the moment. If Mizuari can hold them back, that's all that matters. Now we might see some of these drivers who are stuck behind go for an early pit stop to get the undercut here. And contact between Jecking and Mizuari. Jecking a bit too late in the brakes there. Mizuari luckily not being spun out. He rejoins the track just ahead, but that's going to give him a poor exit coming down towards the left-hander here. And we're 3 wide in the background there. Someone's going to have to back out. I think it's going to be one of the drivers on the outside. SVW still behind Morcilia, I think. No, so Morcilia got past SVW. But Mizuari now at the back of this train. In fact, Paul Moy and Kenny have caught up massively. You can see them in the background. And I think that bit of contact was inevitable with how close they were racing. back to the race lead. Mercedes-Benz and Bruce Harper still neck and neck, although they'll be working together. Melvin is now right in the back of them. You can see Darren has lost so much time, over 1.5 seconds to Melvin. So, struggling for pace in this in the first stint here. Melvin right in the back of Bruce Harper, pulls to the outside there. Bruce Harper going defensive, and Melvin with a switchback. He's going to get that done on the exit, and what a move from Melvin. I think we're going to need a quick replay of that. Goes to the outside, gets the slipstream down the straight, and the classic old switcheroo. He's got that done, and up into P2 he goes. So now he's going to set his sights on Master Benz in P1. So Melvin really seems to have the upper hand in the first stint, although qualifying didn't go as well as he thought it would. Qualified P5, but he's now into P2, so as you can see, qualifying doesn't mean everything. I know Bruce Harper and Melvin had a scrap in Barcelona. By a scrap I mean a good battle, and now Melvin's going to have to worry about both of them. Flashing lights there from Bruce Harper, but Melvin's not going to be worrying about him. He's going to be breathing down Master Benz's neck here, looking for a way to get past, but that was an exceptional move from Melvin, who's still currently got the fastest lap of the race. Leclerc now having to defend. No, he's not having to defend just yet. 4/10 of the gap to Rubifon and Matinero, who are both on the same team here. We've seen a change in position that might allow Ethan through, and is going to let Ethan through. So badly timed team order there, though. Ethan goes wide, and that's going to probably allow Rubifon back through. He's going to have the inside. Can Ethan hold it around the outside? I think he'll hold it into the braking zone, actually. He's slightly ahead. So yeah, still a badly timed switch there from the Raceline team. Now back to the top two. This is a battle can't miss. Melvin slightly wide there. That's not going to help him, because Bruce Harper is going to take that advantage. He's going to capitalise on that, and up into P2 he goes once again. The top four, bumper to bumper, as we see Master Benz going slightly wide. That's going to compromise his exit here. Luckily he held it together. But yeah, crucially for Darren, with the top three fighting, it's allowed him to catch back up. But yeah, I think if the top three weren't battling as hard as they were, Darren would have really struggled to keep up. Melvin once again has a slipstream, but he's not close enough this time. I think he's going to have to go for a few dummies here, or do what he does best with those switchbacks. But let's look further down now. Morcelia currently only 5/10 off of Jecking. So we'll keep an eye on the deltas between those two. Paul Moy in P17 is being caught up by Kenny and SVW, so we could see some more team orders here between the SimZone drivers. In terms of damage, I think yeah, it looks like Kenny and SVW don't have any damage on their cars, so Paul Moy may have to let them through once they get closer. Will be overcome, so we'll see what they decide to do. Bush Coco in P21, right in the back of Peperico here. He goes very wide there onto the marbles. That's not going to help him one bit. Squid in P22 right behind them, as is GS20. Flash of the lights there from Butch Coco. Peperico still with the heavy damage on the front splitter there, and he's got some damage on the rear as well. Looks like he's keeping it under control. It doesn't really look like he's struggling at all. But he must really be fighting the car to keep it as smooth as it looks. Back up to the battle for P11. Priya having to defend against the car now. Only 1.5 minutes till the pit window opens. We've got someone into the pits already. The number 30 car, Vitosaurus, into the pits. And that's a bit too early, I think. Maybe he picked up some damage. No, we're not going to get a good camera angle on that. Now, Master Benz has been able to pull away slightly, so Bruce Harper holding off Melvin there. That's crucial in this battle for the lead. And I think that's what they're going to try and do, is Bruce Harper will be the one to back up the rest, so Master Benz can continue extending the gap. But obviously Bruce Harper can't go too slow, otherwise that's going to let Melvin and possibly even Darren get through. We saw Darren going slightly wide, as did Melvin. Maybe the tyre's getting a bit hot now. Track's up to 32 degrees. Ambient 24. Melvin now might be looking to defend this position. If I were Darren, I'd be working with Melvin to try and catch up the top two, because look how much time they've lost now. That's nearly a second. Pit window is now open. So Vitosaurus back on track, but he's going to have to serve another pit stop, unfortunately. Gender saying, I've been chasing 33 for a week on this track. Yeah, it's not easy. And that's Melvin diving into the pits there. He's going to get slowed in time. It looks to be a perfect stop there from Melvin. So pretty much the first driver to pit. And he's going to try for the undercut, which is a wise move to go for. I think that was probably one of the best strategy calls I've seen from Melvin, to go for the undercut here. But he has to be careful. He can't be released into traffic. If he does, it's going to throw the opportunity out of an of an undercut out of the window. A car and Lapria still, no, is that Lapria into the pits? Yes, it is. So Lapria into the pits is where that puts a car into a bit of clean air now. Stefan just a second back. Stefan is from RFF. So the RFF liveries are blue, sort of the bronzy colour, orangey colour, and black. And for Raceline and SimZone it is red, black and white. But we have differed a bit. We've got a bit more white on our car. You can see there in the background, that's SVW. This is how all the SimZone cars will look. And pretty much all the Raceline cars will look like this. And here we go, Peppercole having to defend that position. Defending for his life here, parking the car on every apex he can to not let Butch Coco past. But Butch pulls to the inside, no, backs out of that move, just trying to show himself in the rearview mirrors here of Peppercole. Now that's a trick we've seen from many of the drivers in the SimZone as well. He's got a better exit, he's going to use the slipstream here, but can he get past? He's going to have a bit of an advantage with the Raceline car carrying some damage there, and he's going to have the inside, I think. Peppercole's going to have to back out. No, Peppercole's slightly ahead, and then Butch backs out of the move. He's gone slightly wide there. But I don't think that'll be a track limit warning for Butch. You can see here, Butch setting himself up a few corners in advance. He's preparing his exit speeds. He's preparing himself for good exit speeds, I should say, in fact. And Peppercorn now thinking about going defensive, back over to the racing line there. You can see these two are not using much of the sleeping policeman on the inside there into turn one. You can use a lot, surprisingly. You wouldn't think the Ferrari would be able to, but really can depending on the setup. I know this the SimZone drivers are going to be able to completely drive over them, as they're all using the SimZone setup. SVW still in P10. That's going to be provisional P10. He's yet to pit, and he has actually got past Mizuari, so that's yet to update. So SVW into P9 now. Stefan still behind Akart. Jacking. Nope, that's not Jacking. That's seems to be another driver, I think, who is possibly a lap down. So Bruce Harper has served his mandatory stop as well, and as you can see, oh, we've got a stop-go for BST NNA. That's speeding in the pit lane. That's really unfortunate there. It's so easy to do at Misano, but yes, Melvin has come well ahead out in front of Bruce Harper, so the undercut has worked for him, but looks like Darren has been able to stay ahead, so now Melvin's going to have to rely on getting the move done on track. Masto Benz still in P1, yet to pit. He's in clean air, so I don't think he'll be pitting anytime soon. Let's look further down. Butch Coco. Oh, Peppercorn with a massive mistake there onto the grass, as we just saw, and now that's going to allow Butch Coco to get the position done very easily there. He's going to say thank you for that, and it seems like the consistent pressure has paid off there for Coco. And up into P13 he goes. Now remember, they're still yet to serve their mandatory pit stop. Lord Perth on the back of Ido. Ido had his drive-through penalty at the start, and he's still up in P18, so proving that he's got the pace to keep it within the mid-pack even after his drive-through penalty. But where is BST NNA? Looks like Vitosaurus back in the pits. I think he may have retired the car there. BST NNA still yet to serve his stop go 30. Lapria, we've just been informed that he had an equipment failure. So there's something wrong going on with his steering wheel. He's had these problems before. He's just waiting on his new one. Now, is that another stop go 30 for BSTNNA? It still says 3 laps. Oh no, sorry, someone else has got one. Masto Benz with a stop go 30, so he's going to have to serve that. The race leader, who has Darren and Melvin right behind him, is going to drop right down the order, so that's going to put Darren and Melvin fighting for P1, with Masto Benz pretty much out of the picture here. They're not going to need to worry about Masto Benz anymore. It's just going to leave Darren and Melvin to fight for the lead here. The question is, Masto Benz, if I were him, I'd keep it out for as long as I can, try and back up the two behind me into my teammate, Bruce Harper, who's down to P14, 4 seconds back to these two. And that may be what he's doing right now. And for Darren and Melvin, they're going to need to get past as soon as possible. But no, Master Benz is going to dive into the pits here. So it's not really going to help his teammate. One more. Looks like that's Butch Coco into the pits as well for his mandatory pit stop. Now that's Matinero getting past Ethan there. No, Matinero very wide though. Ethan's going to get that position back. Looks like Matinero didn't even get onto the brakes there. So he went flying past. And yeah, quite a few stop-go 30s. GS20 has also got the stop-go 30 down in P26 there. Although it's not really going to affect him. He's not going to lose any positions by making that stop-go 30. Now it looks like Melvin here has lost a bit of time to Darren, so has there been contact? I think there definitely was contact between... Either there was contact or Melvin lost the car somewhere, because he is quite far back to Darren now. You can see there he's also picked up some damage. So unfortunate for Melvin. Path now into the pits as well. Ethan and Matinero still neck and neck. Matinero's going to have the slipstream here. Where is SVW? Down in P20. Master Benz after his stop-go 30. They're P19. And he would have been towards the top, battling for the race lead. So it just shows you one mistake and it's pretty much your race over. Although Master Benz are still going to pick up some decent points for Raceline. And that's, I think, all stop goes cleared. GS20 is going to clear his now. Paul Moy now still yet to serve his mandatory pit stop. 9 minutes left to go for the pit window. And that is Darren, I think, who's got a great chance of winning this race now. Bruce Harper still 4 seconds behind, so the gap hasn't really changed. Or if anything, it's 4.5 seconds. Melvin has got Peppericol behind him. Peppericol still yet to serve his mandatory pit stop. So I think the only three, Soulfly, Paul Moy and Peppericol, have yet to serve their drive-through penalty. Vitasaurus has pretty much retired the car, which is a shame. Usually the pit stops do separate the pack a lot, but in this case everyone's got their partners. They found someone to battle with even pace, with matching pace even, and there's still so many battles going on. We've got this 3-car train here, Jacking, followed by Musirari, then Kenny, all battling for P15. Jacking going defensive there, and that's SVW catching up as well. So let's get a pardon me, let's get a onboard of SVW in a second. Let's go back to Bruce Harper, who has got past Paul Moy there. There would have been blue flags for Paul Moy. So we've also still got this battle, Itham and Path. We'll keep the screen on these two, but we'll also have a look at SVW there on the right hand side of your screen. So as you can see, SVW catching up to the pack that looked to be Mizuari slightly wide. Kenny just waiting in the wings there, waiting to pounce on any mistakes that those two make in front of him. SVW very late on the brakes there. Look how much he's caught up just in one corner by them battling. And in terms of pace, that last lap from very, very close there. SVW nearly hit the back of Kenny. But in terms of pace, that last lap from SVW was a 1:36.6. And let's see what it was from Kenny. So from Kenny, that last lap was... so we're on lap 19. It was... you obviously exited the pits then. So we haven't got an accurate lap there for Kenny just yet. And we've got a car off, and they've rejoined the track. Luckily, actually, that wasn't a car off. They lost it. Sorry, almost coming back on the track there and hitting Kenny, but luckily narrowly avoided them. And that was a hot enough moment for I think Kenny and SVW there. Kenny slightly wide into turn one, as we saw. I think just has to recollect and sort of calm down after that. That would have been a massive scare, especially so late on into the race. We may even see a position change between SVW and Kenny. But back to the main screen then. Path still not able to get this move done on Ithan, so Ithan doing a great job at holding him off at raceline. Ruby Fun is now caught up. Likewise, it has Morcielli, although he's 2 seconds back. He'll be with them very shortly, no doubt about that. Soulfly now into the pits. Poor Moy still keeping it out on track. I think he's going to have to pit this lap, otherwise he'll be cutting it very, very close. If not, Ithan, even with that damage, he decided not to repair it in the pit stops. Will it bite him back in this second stint? At the moment he's doing a good job at holding them off, but for how long can he do it? And he might be able to do it for a bit longer with Path running wide there onto the sleeping policeman. That's not going to help him whatsoever. Raceline Ruby Farm catching up massively now. And Ithan is going to be rubbing his hands, thinking, thank you, keep on battling, let me extend this gap. That's about half a second there, maybe even more. He's gained just by a few corners. Yeah, there we go, 8/10 is the gap between Ithan and Path. So Paul now into the pits for his mandatory stop. The Priya is on the back of... well, it was on the back of a car. He's now having to defend from Master Benz, who was the race leader. And Master Benz down the inside there. I don't think the Priya is going to battle him too much. And that was a wise decision from the Priya. He's going to try and work together with him to possibly catch up. Two of the drivers in front. He knows Master Benz is quicker. So, where is SVW? He's got past Mizuari then, and Kenny, now in P16, is still yet to do so. So using just enough of the exit curb there. Jacking now into the pits. Not sure what's happened to Jacking. Has he retired the car? Or has he picked up... oh, he's got some heavy damage there. That's what that pit stop would have been for. He's definitely repairing that now. Ithan still holding on here. He's got a whole 22 minutes to do so. And it's not going to be easy one bit. Kart now having to defend from Masto Benz here. Kart going wide. No one really defending against Masto Benz. They know he's out of position. So they're letting him through, trying to work together with him to maybe make up some time on the drivers in front. We go back to Darren, the race leader, who's got a 3.5 second gap to Bruce Harper in P2, and Melvin, unfortunately, would have been there with Darren. There was either contact or he either lost it on his own, and he lost heaps of time as a result. See their flash of the lights there from Melvin. I think there's a back marker in front. Yep, blue flags are being waved, so there we go, one of the Raceline drivers, sorry not Raceline, RFF drivers moving out the way. Tekalita in the comments saying, "Hi guys, yeah I'm good thanks, how are you? Good to see you on the stream." Practice battle, Ithan doing a great job once again at holding this position, but Paf looking for a lunge up the inside that would have ended in contact if he committed to that. Luckily he backed out. You can see this train starting to form now. Ithan, then Paf, then Rubifum, then Morcelia, Master Benz also catching up to them. And a few back markers in the mix as well. Akart there in P11, followed by Lapria. Lapria so close to the back of him. He's glued to the rear bumper at the moment. He's going to look to the inside. Later on the brakes he needs to be, but no, he's going to slot back in, and he's actually forced Akart to go wide. He's going to have the inside line, but not for the next corner. In fact, I think Akart's gone wide, and Lapria has got that move done. There, put on the pressure, and it paid off there for Lapria. He forced Akart wide. By no means of contact, but just a mental game there. So Lapria up into P11, Akart down into P12. The gap at the top still 3.7 seconds. Melvin losing a lot of time now. He's 7.1 seconds back to Bruce Harper. I believe it was about 5 seconds the last lap. So really struggling with that damage now, and I think his main priority will be to hold on to P3 and bring another podium home. But if the top three finish as they are, we're going to have a driver from each community once again on the podium, which is great to see. Now this train getting even closer here. The battle for P6 is heating up. Ithan has got a lot of pressure on him at the moment. Whether he's feeling it or not, we don't know. Only he knows that. But I think he's definitely helping himself here, backing the pack up, letting them battle, which is giving himself a bit of room here. You can see now coming to the final corner, he's got a few tenths to breathe as he runs slightly wide there. But it's not phased this Ithan at all, with Paf being that close. You can see that Ithan, Paf, Rubifam taking a lot of curb into turn 1, Morcelia avoiding that curb. And that's Masto Benz 3 seconds behind. They do have a back marker behind them, or in front of Masto Benz. But this is a great battle going on, and Paf loose on the exit there. That's going to allow Rubicon to pull alongside, although he's going to be on the outside. I think he's going to be ahead into the braking zone. Goes into the middle of the track to defend the position, and he's got that done. Up into P7. Can Paf get a better exit? No, he can't, but he's going to try it here. Rubifam going defensive, and doesn't look like there's enough space on the inside to go for a move. So he's made it stick, has Rubifam. And that's allowed Morcelia to close the gap. And he's now in this battle. You see that Master Benz is now going to be catching up as well. We'll see how Master Benz navigates through the pack here. I would love to go for an onboard view, but unfortunately we can't. Because the spectator mode is still a bit broken here on PS5. I do hope they fix it soon. It would be nice. It was working before the last hotfix, or the last patch, and then they broke it again, which is typical, but oh well, what can we do? We have to make do with what we have, and Master Ben's very close to Morcilia into turn 2 there. Is he going to send it up the inside? No, thinks better of it. Just being patient here, you can see they're causing drivers to make errors, and Master Ben's is a bit like Moses here. As soon as he gets behind someone, he parts the seas and they move out the way. So Master Benz clearly has some tricks up his sleeve that we don't know about. And he's up into P9 now, only a second back to Path. It looks to be much less now. Ethan still running in P6 here. And look at this train from P6 down to P9. All battling with each other here. And now it's not Path that Ethan has to defend from, it's Rubifum, so a different driver. And Ethan's best bet is for him to back them up into each other. Try and make them battle as much as possible. Now, we might see a change of position here between Path and Master Benz. Master Benz looking to get past. Will Path give him that position? They are teammates. I think Path is going to. Yes, he does. He slows down prematurely there, just to allow the swap. Path going slightly wide. The Priya currently in P11. 6.8 seconds back to Morcilia, so 14 minutes left as well, 14 and a half minutes. It's definitely possible for him to catch up with how much they're battling as well. But of course, Labria had an equipment failure, so we don't exactly know what's going on. He could be struggling. We'll have to wait and see. And Rubifom trying the outside move there on Ethan. It's not going to work. Ethan's going to have to go extremely defensive here to hold on. And he does. Keeps it in the middle of the track. Parks it on the apex now, but slightly wide there. Rubifom not able to capitalise. He's now having to go defensive against Master Benz here. Master Benz getting past absolutely everyone. Let's see, can he get past Rubifom? He's going to be on the outside, which isn't exactly where he wants to be, unless he's going to try to go for a switchback. Can he send it here? He sent it. A bit of nearly took contact between the two, and Master Benz has got that position done. So now he's going to set his sights on Ifan just up ahead. Now, Ifan for me has been defending amazingly, probably the best defensive driver I've seen so far in this mini off-season event championship sort of. We'll call it a mini championship, but Master Benz down the inside. I think Ethan's going to let him through here, bit of door running between the two. Master Benz has got that job done, but Ethan has to be careful. He's compromised his exits down the straight and is going to allow Rubifom to pull alongside. I think Rubifom's going to have this position done unless we've seen the switchback happen. Can Ethan do the switchback in? No, I don't think he's close enough. So he slots back in, losing that position to Rubifom there, and in the background Morcilia defending from Path. Priya, what's the gap? 5.4 seconds, so he's knocked off a second then to these three. I think he needs to do a bit more than that if he wants to catch up. 12 minutes left, he's done the second in about 2 or 3 minutes. So it's going to be close. Path very sideways there onto the grass. And God knows how he kept that pointing in the right direction. He's lost a position though to Morcilia, I believe. And I actually think that's... Is that a back marker in the mix? That's Morcilia. Or is that Rubifum? No, it's not Rubifum. I think there is a back marker in the mix there. And looking at the top two now, the gap is 2.6 seconds. So Bruce Harper has been putting in those laps, trying to close the gap to Darren. And the win for Bruce Harper is still on the cards here. You can see here Melvin in P3, 11.3 seconds down, so he's definitely struggling with the damage. So far, only 5 seconds back. So like I said earlier, Melvin's main focus now is going to be holding on to P3. Just looking further down the field, doesn't seem to be much action going on at the moment. Usually in the last few laps there always is something going on. Kenny, second and a half back to Butch Coker, BSD NNA with a drive-through penalty. He got a stop go 30 and now a drive-through penalty as well, so really struggling today in the Ferrari. And I think that's going to drop him. Yep, it's going to drop him behind Lord Pelth, Peperico. I think he'll be able to hold on to P23 though. Sergio, P24 is 2 laps down currently. And yes, that is definitely a back marker. It's one of blue wheels from Raceline. Not exactly sure. Let's try and find out who it is. Is it GS20? Yes, it is. It's the number 25 car. Who, as you can see, is definitely out of position. Has the pace to keep up, if not get past the likes of Paf and Morcilia. And I think that's Lapria on the back of the train now. 2.2 seconds to them, so he's really closed the gap down. And he could be looking to get a top 10 finish here. There's just 8 minutes left to go of the race. Let's see what he can do. You can see the Ferrari bouncing over the inside curves there. As he rounds the final corner, runs slightly wide. You can tell he's really pushing the car, and Lapria's now got a drive-through penalty for track limits. So even though he's caught up, he's going to lose a few positions now. And new track limits were going to be difficult here at Misano. Misano is quite a good track for track limits. Can use a lot of the curbs here, but Lapria unfortunately used a bit too much in that final corner. And picked up a drive-through penalty. And I think he's going to lose. He's going to lose P14, P15 possibly. I'm not too sure. He might come out in P15 here if he's lucky. But crawling pit lane here at Misano.
watching this battle between Kenny and Stefan. Stefan not close enough. It does say 9/10, but it's, yeah, as you can see, much more than that after it's updated. The Priya now into the pits, likewise as BST. BST's got his drive through cleared, and you see down into P23 here. And he's now battling with GS20, no, P24, I think, for BST and NA. So Doom did get past. And let's see where the Priya comes out. That's not the Priya. So there we go, he's been released off the pit limiter. And he is behind Kenny. And possibly even Stefan as well, let's see. Yes, he is. He's behind the number 4 car in terms of position. Actually, I think the number 4 car may be a back marker. Sorry, no, lead car actually. Ah, yes, no, he's come out ahead of Kenny, and he's picked himself up a stop go 30 as well for speeding in the pits, which is really unfortunate. So he's going to have to serve that, and he's going to lose even more positions here. I think he's going to drop down to possibly P22, P23. The Priya really struggling here after the equipment failure. Soulfly only a second and a half behind Melvin now. Melvin only has 4 minutes left of the race to hold on to this final podium position. Let's see what he can do. He's losing heaps of time though to Soulfly. Let's check their lap times. So last lap for Soulfly, it was a 1:35.5. And for Melvin, it was 1:36.8. So he's lapping significantly slower here. Not many laps left for him to hold on to this position. Let's see if he can do it. We'll see. Looks like he's gapped Path once again. The gap's bigger than 4/10 here. A car still 7 seconds back. Doesn't look like he's closing in either. Stefan still a second back to Kenny. Kenny's doing a good job at holding it off. Got a drive-through penalty for Peppercold. That's for track limits. The Priya stop go has been cleared. He comes out at P22. But back to this battle for the final podium position. Soulfly is trying everything now he can to get past, but he runs wide. And that's where we've seen a few drivers pick up some track limit warnings. Soulfly definitely doesn't want to get a drive-through penalty on the last few laps here. But he's really putting on the pressure, and Bruce Harper 1.8 seconds back to Darren now. Moving slightly wide there. He's going to really need to focus on the exits here, because Soulfly is going to have the slipstream. Melvin going defensive. Soulfly waiting for a gap up down the inside. Melvin is going to have to give that position up contact between the two. And I think Soulfly looks like he's going to return that position. So good sportsmanship there between the two. And that gives Melvin another chance to defend P3, but he's got even more damage now. And with 1 minute 30 of, well, 1 minute 40 of the race to go, it's not going to be easy. Norcilla still holding off Path here, whereas our race leader Darren has crossed the line, so this will be the last lap now. See him having keeping the car in the middle of the track, but he's got enough room to Soulfly to be able to take the normal racing line here. They've just got this final lap to do. It's looking like Darren will be able to hold on here, barring any mistakes he makes, because Bruce Harper's just 2 seconds behind, but Darren's been so consistent. And I think he's just going to bring the car home now. 1.6 seconds to Bruce Harper behind. Melvin's got only a few tenths to Soulfly. He's going extremely defensive here, which is exactly what he needs to do. And Soulfly nearly losing the rear end of the car there. But coming onto the straight now, this is where Soulfly is going to have the advantage. He's going to have the slipstream. He's not got any damage on his car. Where is Darren rounding the final corner? Is this going to be the last lap? Yes, it is. And Darren crosses the line to finish P1 here at Misano. Bruce Harper finishing P2. And Melvin still going round. He's only got a few more corners to go here to hold on to the final podium position. He's going to have to go ultra defensive. Park it on the apex to hold on. That Soulfly slightly wide onto the grass, and looks like Melvin is going to hold on to P3 as he now tries to find the corner and secures that final podium position as Soulfly finishes right behind him in P4 there. What a race between those two. Atenera is going to cross the line in P5 here. There we go, flash of lights there from Matinera. Masto Ben throwing the final corner. He's going to finish in, well no, now the final corner is going to finish in P6. Yeah, we've had a lot of drive-throughs and stop-go 30s this time around. It just shows you how lethal the pit entry is and how track limits can put you from first all the way down towards the back of the pack. But there we have it, your top 10 will be Darren, Bruce Harper in second, Melvin in third, Soulfly in fourth, Antonero in fifth, Master Benz in sixth, Billy Fun in seventh, Ifan in eighth, Auxilia in ninth, and Path in 10th. I believe we're just waiting for a couple more drivers to finish. Pepper Cole finding the final corner now is going to cross the line in P22. And I believe that's it actually. So Pepper Cole the last one to cross the line, and there we have it. What a race. Bit of a messy start from a few, but it settled down after that. And we had some great battles with the top four. Darren, Bruce Harper, Melvin and Masto Benz is now in P6. Battling for the lead, but there we have it. That is your race here. Round 2 at Misano. Next round will be Silverstone in the Bentley, which is 9th of January. So just over a week now. Just under 2 weeks actually. So yeah, we shall see you before then, I think. Let's just double check when our next race is. Yes, we'll see you on the 7th of January for the 4 Hours of Silverstone, which is on PC. Make sure to tune in then. But from us, it's good night and take care.